So in the last chapter it was about repetitive patterns, and now we will use that to make tiles, but we will use the repetitive part on the vector math. So we have the UV and we start with the scale, because the scale will then add the multiplication. So we can put that to like 4, that will multiply 0 to 1 4 times, so we will get 0 to 4. So if I just put that into the surface, you can see it's really bright here now, because it's not 1 up here, it's 4 on the X and 4 on the Y direction. Then we can use this repetition thing, and in the vector math it's often the fraction that we are using. So vector math fraction, if I put that in, you can see the difference here now, that we get 4 in that row and 4 in that row or column. So that means now that we have a really good start for our tiles. Then we need to move the point to the center so we can get it to be 0 on the edges here and really bright in the middle. And that we do with the math that we learned, I think, in the second session. So I take this, Shift D, I do a subtract of 0.5. And you can see now that the point is now moving like this. And I do a multiplication, so Shift D, multiply with 2. So we get it like this. Now we are really close, so now we only have a few things left, and one of those is to have the same value in top and bottom and left and right. So we do an absolute here, so Shift D, and then we take an absolute, and now you can see it really starts to look like tiles here. And then we need to do some type of math, so we can do a separate here. So I take this and then separate X, Y, Z like this, and then we can do comparison between X and Y and take the minimum value. So if it's 0 on both, then it will be 0, and that means that we get some type of tile here. So Shift A, converter, math, put that in, and we select the minimum value for X and the minimum value for Y. And then we put that to the surface, and wow, we have tiles. You can see now that it doesn't start from the beginning, we get like a half tile here. So we need to move it a bit if we have that we would like to have complete tiles. And I don't know if you remember in the first session, but we only used the subtract to change the 0 to a 1 and 1 to a 0, and we can put that after here. So Shift D and subtract, and we put 1 up here and we put 1 here, and now you can see that we get 4 here and 4 here, and the result we get from this here. So now we have 4, and if I put 5 here, you get 5 tiles. Of course, if you do like this with a non-even number, you get it non-even here as well. So that we can control later on. I will teach you how you get complete integers all the time without decimal. But we can do this for now. Okay, so they are not so nice because it's more like pyramids than tiles. So let's fix that. In the minimum, we also have smooth minimum. So smooth minimum makes the tile a bit smoother because it then smoothes out the surface, so we don't get these really hard here. There is some math behind, I will not go through it. And the distance here, well, here you can see with a really high distance, you get circular, and then you get better like this. You can get it even better, because we have 1 minute left, to use the map range. So converter, map range, and here we can then play with the values here. And now you can see we get really nice tiles like this. So that is how you can use the fraction, dividing everything, and by that get a repetitive pattern, which could be good for tiles and so on. We will learn later on how we can put in things here so we don't get it too repetitive with different flowers or whatever. But that will take in a later session. So now you have seen a practical use of repetitive patterns, so I I just say bye for now and see you in the next chapter.